Got it. Great. This feels really strange. Okay, let's go a little bit higher. There we go. Okay, great. Let's go. Right. Onegaishimasu. Oh, good. Good. Well, just loosen up a little bit. Just find that shoulder width. Okay, just letting the feet find the ground. Use the shoulders a little bit more. The feet into the ground, just releasing the arms out. And across the front. And just having the rotation, finding the shoulder. And we're going to a rotation, find the hips. Okay, good. Making it like this, taking the elbows back. Extend that down the arm into the fist. Good. Keeping it dynamic, reaching up and over. Lengthen away, pull the body back, reach up the other side. Good. Coming back to center, just releasing the hips out in a big circle. And the other way. And bringing the legs out wide. Just hinging the head forward and back. And taking a little bit lower, reaching the hands in, reaching up a little bit with the back bend. And this is just reaching to one foot, one hand. Nice and slowly circling around one way, all the way to the top. And changing the other way. Just holding in the center, bringing the fingers down to the ground. Just lengthening out the back of the hips, back of the legs. Walk the hands forward a little bit further. Releasing in the shoulders. Lengthen, pull the hips back. Take a couple of deep breaths. Draw the hands back, just put a little bit more weight into them. Bring the feet a bit closer together, just so you can go into a bit more of a squat position. Release the legs out, side to side. Good. Extending one leg a little bit more. And bringing the heel up one side. Sorry, the toes up. Keeping the heel down. Feels comfortable to go a little bit lower with the hands on the ground. Yeah, just lengthen out one more time. With the legs, walk the feet out as wide as you can. Right. Walk the hands forward, bring the feet together at the back. And just lengthen out to the back of the legs, straighten the heels down. A nice strong pressure in the hands all the time. gently. There you go. You press one foot down, raise the other one out of the ground. Raise it as high as you can, lengthen it up, pull it back down, press that one into the ground, raise the other, and just alternating the side up. Press one foot, raise one other up, keep the pressure in the hands equal. Pressing both heels down towards the ground, don't have to touch, just think about releasing them down. Pressure up through the hands, pull the hips up as high as you can. Take a couple of deep breaths. And then you start to rock the body a little bit more one side, put the weight into the 1 foot, 1 hand, let the side of the body lean towards the ground a little bit more. If it feels comfortable, just let the other side that's releasing really come out of the ground. So 1 hand, 1 foot starts to just pull that, pull that, pull that. And then just find a position where the hands and feet are a little bit closer, just so you can feel that you can put 1 hand, 1 foot down. 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 And then put both feet on the ground, just working with the fingertips. So weighted, going towards the shoulder, fingertips down. Keep the weight in the feet as well a little bit. And just gradually work the hands closer to the feet. And just take it into a forward fold. Release the hands. Release the arms and the head, neck. And just folding the body, upper body towards the lower. And nice and slowly coming up, tracing the legs, the hands of the legs. Good, right, good. We're still a little bit for the head and the shoulders, so just reaching up and down the neck and the chin. Looking left to right. Keep the chin pulling back a little bit, very subtly. And then look into the corners of the room, up, down, and top. Get up and near to the shoulder, one side and the other. A little bit of weight one side. But gently letting the weight of the hand just pull the neck along. Think about the opposite hand just reaching a little bit towards the ground. If you feel any sharpness in this, don't go anywhere into this, but think about pulling the palm out so the thumb starts to turn out. Think about spreading that space between the top of the head and the fingertips of that extended hand. And if that feels comfortable, no issue, think about just reaching the hand up in a way. Keep now the wrist bending back. Keep the pressure out the palm and just play with a little bit of, again, if it only feels okay, there's no sharp feeling in the body. Just play with a little bit of kind of flossing that space. Just a little bit. And then the last one, just hold it wherever's comfortable. Release the arm, release the weight on the head, find the other side. And again, if that's enough, just stay there, hold it. Want to just think about reaching the hand down a little bit, weight the shoulder. That feels fine, let the hand go out, turn the thumb outside, press the palm down. That feels fine, just raise it a little bit. And if that's all okay, just play with a little bit of movement in between. And then just finding the back of the head. Think about really, in this case, connecting the head, neck, shoulders, and the elbows in this case. Press the elbows away from the body. Press the head forward with the hands and receive it back, also with a little bit of pressure from the head. Think about spreading the shoulders as wide as you can. Take a nice in breath in, and then release it down. Let the back stay wide in this case. Pull the elbows as close as they can together. Draw the chin towards the chest. And again, just take a nice couple of big deep breaths here. Think about breathing right across the back of the rib cage. And think about opening back up with an in-breath. Add a little bit more space in the body, a little bit of a back bend, very subtle. Try not to just push the head back. Think about a global movement of the spine, whole body bowing backwards. Keep again a little bit of pressure in the head from the hands. Pull the elbows far away as you can. Take a couple of breaths. Next out breath, pull the body back down again. Just think about a little bit more of a global movement of the spine. Pull the whole body down. Take a couple of deep breaths. Try and keep the shoulders wide. And then from that hinge position, keep it. Find the width back in the shoulders. Pull the back along. Then just take a couple of deep breaths here. So feel the weight really weighted in the legs nice and comfortably. And then just think about the hips unlocking the elbows in this case. So try and avoid twisting with the elbows, just the elbows and the torso. Think about the hips, just driving that motion so the pressure stays the same. The elbows don't really do anything. Just initiate that move from the hip. And then just pull to one side, hold it, take a couple of deep breaths. Big deep breath into that side of the body, and let it out. Find the center, pull to the other side. Again, same thing, just a couple of deep breaths in that side. Pull back to the center. Okay, you're going to release the hands, but keep that pressure in the back of the neck. Release them down, pull the hands back. Thumbs go out. Think about, again, length through the shoulders. So try and avoid squeezing the shoulder blades together. Think about pulling the head up away from the hips. Back of the hands nice and active. And then you're just going to scoop them up in this case, just as high as you can. Reach the thumb side up. So like you're pointing the thumb up to the ceiling. Reach the hands up, keep the hips back. Think about a little bit of a kind of tug of war now between the hands and the hips. Hips going to go down and back, hands going to go up and away from the body. Couple of deep breaths here. Try and avoid the chest kind of pulling out. Think about really widening the shoulders, pulling the spine as long as it can, maybe kind of hanging away from a bar. Try and feel the back of the legs active as well in the movement. Couple of deep breaths, more, a few more. And then from here, keep the tension in the legs, pull the hands down to the ground all the way, let the thoracic spine, top of the spine, start to curl. Head just fits in between the shoulders. Keep the legs active in this case. Pull the toes away from the ground if you can, and just think about pulling the hips back as far as you can. Reach the hands forward as far forward as you can without falling over. Take a couple of deep breaths when you're uncomfortable. Let the toes come onto the ground, pull the hands to the shin bone, really press in strongly, pull the spine long. And using the pressure in the feet, keep the spine long, pull the body back up, just find the knee, top of the knee with the fingertips, keeping that hinge, pull the hands back one more time. Last position we'll do, squeeze the fingertips together at the front, aim forwards, pull the hips back, pull the hands forward. And just take a couple of deep breaths here. Really squeezing the fingertips together, try and really activate the shoulders. Very last one is just slowly coming out to it now, so you get as if the hands are kind of magnetic and you need to pull them apart. Feel that pressure in the body and really start to just gently well, not gently at all, forcefully pull the hands back to center, pull the hips back to center, but do it really slowly, like you're doing it in quicksand, slow and steady and full of tension. Go all the way back to standing. And we'll just do one more there, pulling back in. Again, then you're kind of dragging the hands and the hips through quicksand. Find them at the top, at the front of the movement. Squeeze them together. And again, just imagine the hands kind of really stuck together. You're going to forcefully pull them apart from each other and pull back to center with the hip. And once you get there, just stand up, shake out a little bit, shake out the legs, shake out the arms. Okie dokie. Good. We'll just do a very last few just for the wrists. Just release them out. And both ways. And just releasing, go into the fingers a little bit. Move into the palms, squeezing together, hold a couple of seconds, and release. Check the wrists to mobilize in that position. Strong grip, mobile wrist. Release it. Good. Nice tight fist, tight as you can. Again, just play just first with the wrist. Get as strong as you can with the fist, really try and squeeze it in, and then just feel that the wrist is still able to mobilize in that position. Okay. Take it a little bit more into the forearms. So think about that motion and think about this motion of the forearm. So if you isolate it out, it's just that motion basically, even without the elbow doing anything. And then think about that with the elbows. You've got that flex obviously with the elbow, and then you combine it with that, combine it with that. And you've got lots of movements there to play with. Again, just keeping the fist as strongly, tightly closed as you can. And then just think about the shoulders coming into it. So loads of motion in the shoulder. Just play with mobilizing it out a little bit. And again, just think about, again, keeping the fist nice and tight. Mobilize the wrist, mobilize the forearm, mobilize the elbow, mobilize the shoulders. Right. So. And then just think about a little bit more extension work. So you can do both sides of it. Think about drawing motions, pulling motions. Good. So very simple. It's just like a kind of strike, like a draw out, like a pull towards the body with a grip. And then think about that and combining it with kind of rolling movements. So they're going to kind of wind through the motions, through extension. And then think about really connecting the hips into it. So if you think about the hips pulling the fists all the time, in the sense of like a pulley system, rather than the sense that that pull in terms of this, there's this, and there's pulley in terms of trying to guide from the hip. So imagine the hips kind of drawing the fist in and out away from the body, drawing it out in and away. And then just play with the feet. So the feet just start to move, roll, but keep that same kind of action. So you've got all the mobility in the arms, you've got the connection from the hip directly to the hand, and then you've got the feet just to mobilize the body, just to play with mobilization, but that order still stays the same. And again, just play with extension work, drawing work, but especially for us, good for us is winding work, this kind of spiraling of the joint system. Can I communicate it from the hip, from the core of the body to the fist? And can I also communicate it to the legs, into the ground through the feet? Keep going. Just explore, move around a little bit. Very good. And if you get lost a bit in like, what am I doing? Think about things you would do all the time through the day. Opening doors, moving fridges. I don't know what you do all day, but what else do you do? What else do you do all day? Pushing chops, trolley carts, lifting people, all these kind of activities. Yeah, good. And the last one in there, just to explore a slightly different movement, keep the fist strong, but think about the elbows kind of rolling. So again, it's just really good for anything else, apart from anything else, practical terms, it's just good for shoulder mobility and hip work. So just think about kind of going into a little bit more elbow work. And the key with this, the really good thing with this is that the tendency is that the body gets raised up because the elbow goes into kind of the focus on the elbow, and the shoulder starts to kind of kick up. So think about, again, just trying to keep the shoulder heavy. And again, the kind of mobility that happens or that stays in the wrist, shoulder, forearm, again, really important to these kind of movements to be functional. Because you're working a little bit closer to the body, the tendency is to be kind of crunched. So it's just trying to find same kind of expansion, mobility work, and stay heavy in it as well. Good. And again, just really for mobility work rather than practical stuff or functional stuff, just think about lifting the knees at the ground as well. So if you think about kind of coiling movements, and again, it's just a kind of challenge on the body, can actually weight towards one leg. And in this case, just trying to bring the knee up a little bit. It doesn't have to go up high, but if you think about elbows, knees together, you can also think if you're feeling flexible, you can think about elbows coming to knees, coming across the body is a good one. Just rolling into it. But again, think about weightedness. Think about different kind of motions that you can make with it. So, very nice. Very nice, good. And then play with that, play with the extension, but just think about making it a little bit lower as well. So I'm going to go into a little bit more kind of squatting positions, closed positions. And just think about very simple kind of stuff, just getting low basically with it. So the key with this is that as you do it, try and make it as one movement. So if you think about a coiling motion with the arm and the hip, and then think about can I fit it into a kind of squatting motion or a lowering of the body. Now, it doesn't have to be very low. It's just the idea of can I start to just drain a little bit lower into it, and just in this case, just to work the legs a little bit more, give them a little bit more pressure to work with. It's just being a little bit more aware now of the lower body in terms of the spiral that's passing through down into the ground as you do it. And again, it can be very simple stuff. You can also think about, again, kind of practical things like picking things up, lowering things down to the ground. So, there we go. Perfect. Okie dokie. And then just shake everything out a little bit. Shake out the wrists, release the fist. Wiggle the fingers a little bit. Shake out the arms and the elbows. Arms and elbows. Shake out the arms with the elbows. Shake out the legs. Shake out the whole body a little bit. And just let the weight sit in the ground. And again, just feel a kind of light mobilization. All the body, feel the whole body receives whatever movement is coming in from the center. Can be a little bit of a wiggle, can be a little bit of a pulse, can be a little bit of a brace as well, if you want. Good. Okay, we'll do some bokken work. So, grab yourself a bokken. Yep, good. So we'll start nice and basic, just working with the first 𝗧𝗪𝗡. So just in your own time, find the right side. Really pause at the back in this case, and just again engaging everything down into the cut. Find the back and down into the cut. And just think about using the sword now to unite the whole body, bring it together and really into one piece, and keep all that mobility work in mind as you do it. So very simple mobility in lots of sense than what we were doing before. But again, think about now bringing everything together all as one piece, flexibly in the ground. Mhm. Good. 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 Okay, good. Okay, so everyone's form's really clear, so nobody's really doing anything really strange, so which is always good. So this is always good, but think about this, it's just like whatever you do in terms of principles, you can always do better, right? So like balance, you can always be better balanced. Working from the center, you can always work more clearly from the center. So just look at those 2 points. The first one's balance. Now, no one's really had to balance because no one's kind of thrown themselves forward or backwards. But just think in terms of this case, the balance in this position. And the key with balance is to feel that the whole body's able to remobilize easily in that position. So a kind of very clear signal that I'm out of balance is that if I go into kind of mobilization, it's kind of isolating one part of the body, guessing that one part of the body's kind of stuck. So think about these 2 moments in that. There's actually 3 really, if you think about this movement. There's the kamae, the initial position, and again, kind of just mobilize the whole structure. There's the pull back here. And again, this is a kind of tricky one actually, because you're actually weighted more to one foot, a lot more to one foot. But again, kind of find balance within that position. And again, that just means kind of just mobilize the whole structure easily. And then the very difficult one in terms of us is kind of find the balance in this position through the weight's 50-50. I'm engaged fully into it. And then can I just mobilize the body. But just look at those 3 positions. The key ones for us are really, in terms of working, although the kamae one is actually really essential. In terms of this movement, it's the pull to the back. Can I find balance in that position? And the engagement into the cut. Can I find balance in that position? And true balance in a way would be everything resting on the ground, functionally, easily. Everything should just be able to move easily. So your next action should be incredibly easy to make. It should require like 0 adjustment to go into that next move. And that's a kind of it's more of a functional way to look at balance in terms of feeling balance and actually being balanced. It's kind of 2 separate things really in most cases. Okay, good. So just play again. It's a kind of test of the feedback in this. It's a bit of a strain because it's a subtle exercise because it's very easy to lose and do badly. It's very easy to do. It's just very bad. It's easy to do the exercise wrong. Oh, wrong is even worse. Oh. Okay, watch this. You go like this, and I'm just going to kind of step out of it. Now you want to really watch the feedback in this. So if I do this, let's say I do this really badly, where I cut badly and then I fall forwards basically into the next step. Okay, but the other way I can do this badly or incorrectly is that I brace the structure and then brace the body through the step. So there's no adjustments, there's no falling, but the body's basically being held through a kind of rigid structure. So use the feedback in this. That is the feedback in this exercise. So the feedback is falling forward, the feeling of falling forwards, and the feeling of the structure's braced and I'm kind of held in place. Yes, and true balance is somewhere in between where you feel none of that. There's none of that feedback happens yet. You just step into it. And then that was falling forwards. Yeah, but notice it's very difficult, incredibly difficult to do this with no adjustments, with no feedback in terms of falling forwards, bracing the structure. It's incredibly difficult to do in terms of being just balanced and really listen to that feedback, let it happen. The worst thing I can do in this is block it and brace the structure. So, but the best one to play with is actually the feeling of falling. Yeah, what happens when I just lift the back foot up, pass the center into that foot, what happens? And it'll probably be really a mixture of falling and a mixture of bracing, probably like the ankle, the thigh wants to kind of brace a little bit, maybe the butt wants to brace a little bit, and just really listen to it. And then go to one or work towards one, which is going to be like very, very much released and just a kind of, just a walk through. And it's about the relationship to the ground. It's about the balance in the feet and the structure, how the pelvis sits on the body, all these kind of details. But actually just kind of feeling that I'm balanced, truly balanced, and boom, you can just walk into that next step. Just take the next step. Yeah, very easy to miss the feedback and not then be able to kind of use it as a kind of error correction in this sense. There we go. So now, let's say if you're really truly balanced, you shouldn't feel like you need to make a step at all. So work on this now is that when you go into the cut, what I don't feel is that there's any feeling of the body that I want to go boom. So you just want to go dunk, and there's no sense of going into the next cut. There's no sense of stepping out of it, going anywhere. It's just so just allow the body to sit. Now, this is if there's uncomfort in that position. Let's say, oh, I feel really uncomfortable. I want to go just into the next cut. Oh, I just want to go to the next cut. So there's kind of restlessness in the group. Try and find one now where you just sit into it, and there's a restlessness here. This way. I want to go that way, but I just want to find one. I'm going over the top. I just want to find a cut which is just as too tight, overextended. And that's okay, not bad. Yeah, but one where you just feel like, oh, you don't want to go anywhere. You just want to cut and sit and stabilize. Boom. And again, really listen to that feedback now. You'll get like whipping back, you'll get like drifting off to the side, you'll get falling forward, you'll get bracing of the structure, all of this kind of stuff. And just find one which is just like, just slots into place. Fine, okay, perfect, boom, done. And if you get one of those, you can leave. You can go home. You're already home. You can go do whatever you're doing. Do whatever you do all day. Das ist eine Punch-Track. No. No.
Like you can always make yourself more difficult by using a heavier object.
Yeah, you can also, yeah. Then if you really get it, do it with a heavier. Yeah, do it. And then the other test of that is also do it. Can I do it full speed? Can I do it full power also? Or like, can I just increase? Can I increase it? Can I do it a little bit faster? And also like with this, also with the first route, it's like, can I also do it? Can I also do it together? Yeah, can I lose the pause at the back? Can I just go into it this way? I know that's really difficult. That's really tricky. Yes, there's a lot of ways. If I let's say if I feel I'm really getting it, or let's say I feel I'm really on the spot, exactly hitting the spot each time. Boom. Then there's a lot of ways to challenge this actually later. Yeah. That's it. Where we go? Oh, there we go. That's good. Okay, and then the other challenge is that is like the progression in the system. Now we'll go. It's away from the 𝗧𝗪, still obviously solo way because we've not got a choice. But think about now you would basically take that structure and take it into blending work with another person. So if I can find true balance on my own in solid structure, standing, stable, fine. Can I do it when I've got someone kind of give me a bit of pressure to it? So this is the other way to challenge it in a way. And it's just the way the kind of system goes with it. The first one is actually just the attack. So can I get that position and can I just mobilize into the attack with it? And again, balance is key with this. The big challenge in this one, apart from the initiation of the movement, how to initiate it, is the balance at the end of the cut. It's so easy to kind of get pulled forward with this one. So now work with the same kind of feeling. And again, true balance in this case would be that if I just land into the cut, the next movement should be very easy. Yeah, it shouldn't require a lot of adjustment or readjustments of the body to get back in. So just play with this. It's a very simple 𝘭𝘪𝘦𝘢 through the center line, break, stepping in and just settling in. start with a kind of small movement in this case. What tends to happen with this, also because a lot of the time when we do partner work, we work at distance first, and then the tendency is to really overextend this movement and make it way too big. Yeah, so your one step distance is basically just that basically. Yeah, so it's just a one step. Whereas if I was in 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏, if I'm just to raise the foot up and the body falls forward, that's kind of your one step, kind of natural stepping distance. What I don't want to do, you can do this later, but what I don't want to do is like leap forward with the body. Yeah, so it's not really a leap, it's just a kind of just a bridging of the distance forward. And when you're using the strike, you're just in one step distance, which is very close and doesn't require a major move forward of the body. So in this case, just play a little bit with the distance, like small steps. If that feels comfortable, go a little bit bigger with it, and then take it to a kind of more of where the distance will kind of be correct in this sense. And play also a little bit with like overextending the step. And I want to really feel what that feels like in the body in terms of, again, balance, structure. Trying to move from the center. Nice, Keith, very good. Okay, and then there's another thing with this which is interesting. You can work on it on solo because it's actually a solo exercise. We do it for partner work. I use it to surprise the partner, but in order to surprise the partner, you need to surprise yourself with the movement as well. So if I have a very obvious intention, as I'm going to go into the attack. Yeah, I've got all this signaling to do. So in order to surprise my partner in terms of attack, I also need to surprise myself with the movement. Sounds a bit weird, but try and surprise yourself with the movement. You want to be in 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 and basically here. And just let it, again, if I'm really balanced in that position, there's a sense that I don't really need to go anywhere. Yes, there's no sense of like being restless in the 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏, it's just that. And then just listen for this kind of, there's a thing in the head which will go like, go. Yeah, or in my case goes, attack. And then, attack, it goes. Yeah, and I want to listen to that, and I want to do, and then join the movement to that. So there's a kind of intention to go. And again, it's like, well, this is another topic, but you don't really know where that idea comes from to attack. Unless someone gives you the command and then you listen to it and you do it. And you go like, attack, and you do it. That's like military training. But you don't really know where that command comes from. But listen to it, listen out for it, and just move. Yeah, just go with it. Yeah, listen to what the command is. Sometimes it's like move, sometimes it's like go, sometimes it's like attack. Depends what it is, but in this case, it's a bit more of an attack one. But there we go. I want to have, in this case, I have no signal because I'm actually surprised myself. So there's no need to re-signal because I'm not preparing anything. It just goes. That's the idea with it. So, again, difficult to do it in terms of. It's just a movement forward, just an attack. There we go. There we go. Good, good, good. Okay, so that's kind of the attack in that case where you want to look at. Obviously, there's a lot of work you can do in terms of balance and again in terms of initiation. But again, it tends to come, that work I tend to do in the first 𝗧𝗏𝗏. So, and the actual 𝗧𝗏𝗏 work. And if I'm struggling with that, pull back to the 𝗧𝗏𝗏. That's kind of just the way the system works. In this case, think about the response that we would make to that movement. So if you think about somebody doing that to you, cutting through straight through to the head, coming through this way, and they're surprising you with it, my kind of flinch response is probably to do this. But in this case, I want a flinch response. I want a response which is just to engage into the movement. So in this case, just in terms of technical things, I'm going to take the right foot and I'm just going to go to the right side and I'm going to bring the left foot with it. In that movement, I'm also going to raise the sword and cut down. Okay. So you can play with this. You can stop at the head where you would kind of cut at the head in terms of where we would do the exercise. Or just because of the solo work, what you can do is just get into the cut through fully. And then just listen to those things like balance as you ground the cut. And again, initiation. We'll do one exercise, which gets a bit strange with this, but just play first with getting the idea for the movement, which is as the person comes into the attack, I just want to raise the sword up, step out, and go into the cut this way. And again, initiation of the movement together, trying to find balance at the end. And again, the kind of test of the balance is, can I move easily with no adjustments out of that position. Or with adjustments, let's say. That's the kind of idealistic way of looking at things. Can I just move a little bit easier? And each time can I move a little bit easier, or the feeling of moving a little bit easier. So. Good. And then from that, you also train multiple responses from this. So sometimes I can't go right. So I'm like, here, and I can't go that way. Oh, shit. I really can't go that way. Now I do this. So now you go to the left side. So in this case, with the sword cut, when you raise, you change the leg to the left side and step out. Technically, you could just bridge the right foot in and cut down this way, but it's a little bit awkward in terms of structure. So what we do is change the leg and change the cut. Now, we've not done any left side cutting, but just again, think about balance structure as you go into that cut. And again, you can finish at the head, or where you would finish at the head in terms of the exercise. Or again, for structure work, for balance work, it's a little bit easier to go fully into the cut with it. Give it a try. So in this case, changing left side. Changing left side. Hitting left side. And then once you've got that clear, you can just mix in the response. You can go right side, you can go left side. But you want again, a very clear initial response, just to move the body. What's that time? Time's going very slow today. I don't know why. I'm running out of exercises. No, I'm not. Now I've got more. Okay, watch it. In this case, this is the tricky bit. This is the kind of way you need to surprise yourself with it. What I do with this is much. Why I'm thinking about this is because I'm going to the Morihei Dojo, and there's lots of dogs in the area. So when I do this practice, I use the dogs in the area to train it. So I'm going to train. So the dog barks, and I need to go. And if I'm late with it, the dog barks, and then you get hit. Right, that's the kind of tester. So you need a bit of a noisy environment with this, or you just play with it a little bit. But think about coming into Kamae. Now, you don't need a noisy environment, but a quieter environment is going to be a bit difficult. You need to notice a change in a sound in the room. So it can be the fridge turns on, it can be a car goes past, it can be a man goes, whoa! And then I want to blend to that. So go into a kind of calm kind of position, go into something where you feel like everything's kind of normal. If you're in a very noisy environment, that's a little bit tricky, but find a position. Yeah, and there's a movement. So I just said I can't go over a speed bump. Listen, find it, try and join it, and join that movement. So this is a kind of a 𝘭𝘬𝘢 exercise. It's the same idea you would do with a partner, but in the case of a partner, you've got a bit more pressure in terms of you've got a live person and they're going to do something. In terms of this, you've just got to change. You've got to change which happens, and I'm trying to join the change and cut to it and unify the movement to it. Strange exercise. And if you're in a very noisy environment, it's very difficult. If you're in an incredibly quiet environment, it's very difficult. But there'll always be changes in terms of structure. Yeah. And it might, oh, there's a bird. And you also deal with distraction as well, because you also get distracted by something and try and do it as well. So this is also the practice in terms of, and noise is quite a good one to do it to, because we're quite sensitive to it. And nobody's deaf, are they? I presume nobody's really deaf. Nobody's tall. So give it a try. Boom. We go. That's great. Okay. And then we'll just look at these really come later in the system, and when I'm kind of dealing with a different idea, which is kind of not leaving the line, but actually wedging through and basically holding the line. But we'll do two variations of it, which are kind of interesting anyway, and they're just to kind of work in shoulder mobility and wrist mobility as well. I give you two. They all involve the left hand changing, and the left leg in this case is going to change with both of them. So rather than coming off the line, way off the line with this one, what I'm going to do is just step through to the front. So just bring the back leg in, left leg, and then just reset the right foot. As you do that, you've got two choices in this case. You're in Kamae. The first one is think about a cut up, and then you raise, you lower the sword down with the hand. Okay, so the hand's free in this case. So the left hand is going to release, find the top of the sword as you step in, and then wedge the body through the cut this way. So this is a practice of basically holding the line and changing everything through on the line this way. Okay. So that's the first one. If that's enough, stay with that one. The second one is to do this movement and go into a thrusting pattern. Okay, so this is much more direct, and then this will be this position. It's got a little bit more of a spiral to it, and the movement's basically to come here. So it's two ways to use the hands. One is to join a cut through and down, and one is to join this ski pattern this way into a thrust. They involve, again, a kind of very similar body work. This kind of step through straight down the line and initiating into the movement. And again, I really need to be using the whole body together. So where this really doesn't work is if I start to really pull off the line with it and go away from it or pull back with it. In this case, again, really great for solo work because I can just train kind of fearlessly going forward with it. Just pass forward through it. And again, I want to be balanced at the end of the movement. So little bit trickier in terms of mechanics, but that same idea. Yeah. And you definitely don't want to confuse the two in this case. So definitely try and avoid doing like and then going this one, or and then try to do this one. So if you go up, you go up and you go down. If you go in, you just go in this way. Yeah, so it's two different kind of feelings of the body. One is to catch the cut as it comes up, and one is to straight away blend in. So there's slightly two different timings in this case, but one flows up and down with the hip, and one spirals directly in, straight in through the tip this way. And so the hip work is what's kind of making the change in this case, as with everything else. Last minute. Yeah, very nice. Okay, so if you have a really committed attacker and they're really going full speed and full power, if I'm to use this, it's just whoever's more committed to the movement, right? So whoever has the clearer bodywork, whoever has the movement clearer in terms of commitment, that's the one that's going to kind of win the encounter. Now, it's not really technical. It's just a feeling in the body that I need to. Basically, when I go. Yeah, when I go, just do it. So the last bit, just play with it. You can do this slow. It doesn't have to be fast, but just think about really when you do it, you've got like, this is the attack. This is the attack, and I need to really be in a position where that's kind of overwhelming in terms of movement. Okay, so just give it a try. Last week, again, it's a bit of a strange idea to work solo, but again, it comes back to body work. Just like the first degree, can I just engage the body into the movement? Can you just move with it, please? Well done. That's that. Very good. There we go. Good. Okay, great. We'll stop right there. Great. どうもありがとうございました。
どうもありがとうございました。
Okay.